I was hoping that you can help with a particular topic, and that is coin grading. I know you've had some experience sending in some coins, so I think that's what we could talk about today. What do you think?
Sure.
All right, guys, that's what we're talking about, coin grading. All right, so Mr. Hen, let's get into coin grading. I've never sent in coins for grading. I've only never ever.
Oh, wow.
I've only bought them already graded and sold them. And in terms of sending anything in for grading, I've sent in like one comic book once to CGC, and that was it. I'm impatient, so I don't like sending something in and having to wait.
So
a
I
long
have
time.
a bunch of times sent stuff out for grading.
Okay.
I always use NGC.
Why only NGC?
You know what? When I first started, that's who I used, and I just stuck with them. And
Have you ever had any issues with them?
No, not as a.
I have a
business or
horror
anything.
story.
Not like thought I got the wrong coin back or nothing crazy like that. I was just a little disappointed with the grade. On the coins. Anytime I've ever sent in like a Carson City Morgan dollar, it always comes back improperly cleaned or something like that. And man, and they put it in a capsule too.
And so do you end up cracking it out and then selling it raw or crack it out? Have you ever tried to resubmit it?
Nah.
Have you ever tried to submit it to a different company?
Nah, because you know what? I didn't have an account with PCGS, and anybody else is like lower tier.
Annex.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of people seem to only
Like
go
I said,
by PCGS.
No coin was that good of a year in that grade to make it worthwhile to do,
I've only had experience one time with sports memorabilia, getting an autograph authenticated by a company called PSA DNA. It was a Joe DiMaggio autograph.
Oh, nice.
And it was for my father. And so I just took all of the autographs that I had and got them all authenticated, except that one came back and said that it wasn't real. And my father swore up and down that it was. And so I ended up sending it to a different company, JSA, which is like how there's NGC and PCGS, so you've got these two companies, and JSA is like, yes, this is an authentic piece. So that's the thing, like you send it in, like what if the person that was grading that one Carson City coin that you sent in or whatever, they just had a bad day.
I was just thinking the same thing. What if he's like pissed off?
He's pissed off.
But you know what? This ain't an MS-65.
He's sharing a cubicle with a guy who had too much Indian food the night before.
He was tapping on his desk.
Yeah, something, just like lighting him up or whatever. And
yeah, I'm sure. You know what? I recently started grading diamonds also. And I had the same thing where like you just send it in hoping it's going to be one grade.
GSA?
GIA.
GIA.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you send it in hoping it comes back this
like
this
VS1 or something.
Man, 0 for 3.
Really?
Couple, yeah. So I'm working on it,
And is it a similar type of service? You send it in
pay for the grading. They send you back a certificate with everything they saw on it. And
so when does it make sense then for anybody? So here you've got. For those of you that are watching, he's got the Lady Liberty.
That's a high relief.
High relief. This was like one that was put out by the U.S. Mint, very popular because they've done like a different one each year. Sure. They did the tree, they did the Bronco.
This is PF70.
This is
Ultra
Proof 70 Ultra Cameo.
That's the
that's
best.
the top.
Yeah, best you can get.
But now, did you buy this
I bought
this?
it like that. I would. That's not something I'd send out. You ever see them? They come in the mint set with all the box of paper.
Yeah, the big, huge box.
I would just buy it like that and, sell it wholesale most likely. But something like this I purchased, graded. Unfortunately, don't get me wrong, there's a premium on this coin. I did pay, I think, $280 over the gold price for it, But, I don't know.
And then what about this one? Did you send this in?
It's still not something I would send out to have graded. I bought both of them like that.
So what do you deem worthy of sending in for grading?
Certain year Morgan dollars, definitely. Certain year pre-33 gold. I don't know what this is, 1908. I don't know if I'd send something like that in. But if you had a good year, definitely anything Carson City.
How long did it take you to know which dates? Like how long would you say, how many years or whatever did it take you to memorize, like, oh, that's a good year, I got it?
You know what, you'd be surprised, and people ask me that all the time about the pre-64 quarters and dimes. And like if you look them up, there's like 5 years that are worth anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? And most of the coins are like that. You know, they're not all worth big money. There's only a handful of years. You know?
Just how do you remember it all?
You know how you remember?
No.
You sell one to somebody and don't realize and find out that they make
Oh, you
hundreds
learn
of
the
dollars
hard
on it.
way.
You learn the hard way. You know what I mean?
I've
You'll
had
never
that
make
happen.
That mistake again. You know?
I've had that happen to me
Quite a few
before,
times.
and I'm like, whatever, and I still made a little bit of money off of it and sold it.
Nah.
So these you bought off of either
I
a
bought
dealer
like
or
that,
somebody,
yeah.
and now are these going to go on your website, or are you going to like what are you
I'm
going
on
to do
the
with
fence.
these?
I don't know.
He's on the fence. What is your website?
Bayshore Bullion Exchange.com. I don't know. You know, what can I ask for them? You know, I told you.
You would have to go on
I paid
eBay.
$280 over. If I got $325 over, is it worth listing? $350? You know,
Probably not.
And it's you know, you're talking $2,700 right now, 26 and change.
Right.
It's a lot of money for
that is
one
a
ounce,
lot.
You know,
That is a
so
lot.
most likely, what happens? One phone call gets sold to wholesale. You know,
And then what do they end up doing?
I have no idea.
They don't
I
melt
guess
them
trying
down.
to
They
re-
just try
No,
to
of course
resell it
not.
themselves.
Just resell it on their end. You know,
And so, like, would you recommend? Because I often
Eagles are nice right now.
Eagles,
Yeah.
gold eagles, regular gold eagles. You would recommend sending these in for
No,
grading?
No, I thought you meant buying.
No.
no,
No,
these
no,
I
no.
would never send in for grading.
Thank you. You had me shocked for a moment. I was like, "What are you talking about? You're going off script, bro." Yeah, because these are modern bullion. They're a dime a dozen, minted in the
dozen.
millions and millions of coins, and it's not. I mean, maybe one could argue like 1986 would be the one possible year. Other than that, I get calls all the time from.
They only want 86.
Huh?
They only want 86.
No, I get calls from these like I don't know what kind of companies. They're gold. I don't know what they are. Like you
Online
get the
dealers,
yeah, kind of, but you get like a pamphlet in the mail. You know, like an old person would get the pamphlet in the
Yeah.
mail, and they're like, "Oh, let me call these people today and find out like how I can buy gold." And then now because every once in a while they'll have like a spot deal. Like they'll sell you like a 1 ounce gold eagle at spot or below spot or
nice.
something. And so
One
once
per
you do
household?
that, yeah, one per household thing. And then once you do that, you're on their call list.
Right.
But for me, every once in a while they'll call me. And sometimes if I happen to be at my computer, I'll hit
I thought you were
record.
just going to say, sometimes I purchase from them, and I hope you ain't buying from any of these
I've
guys.
bought from them
Oh my God,
when
man.
they had like good deals. Like sometimes
Like
they've
what?
had like gold at spot or MS.
One coin? You're using to buy
Yeah, just one
coin?
like MS70
Oh, so you got
at spot and.
they're the people doing that. They don't want you to do that.
Correct.
You know.
Correct. But there's nothing that's keeping you from
They're
doing
hoping to
it.
hook you in.
They
Yeah.
do exactly. I've done it. They've done deals where it's like 10th ounce gold eagles at spot, and there are times where you would place the order and spot, and they would have advertised like, oh, $1,800 for the 10th ounce gold eagles, and spot dropped below it, and I'm like, I'm calling because your flyer is saying, buy 10. Like, are you still going to honor the deal? I'm like, yeah, no, we'll still honor the deal.
Nice.
So like me and a few other YouTube content creators have done okay by calling them, and I've gotten content out of it because, like I said, I've like recorded
them on the phone.
I've recorded them on the phone, and they've
my
called
goodness.
me. They've called me to like try to pitch me something.
Right.
Like they'll do like we've got this silver eagle. They're MS69 American Silver Eagles, signed by John Mercanti,
Yeah.
and these are going for $600, but we'll sell them to you for $559. Like it's
wow.
like all BS
yeah.
stuff. So I'm like, all right, this sounds like something that they're trying to take advantage of, like old people. So let me call them and
buy from them.
let me just call them and like, record the video. And
Yeah.
so like a couple times I've called them, and
what,
they
they're
have high
straight up
pressure,
trying to scam, or-
trying to pressure you, not scam
but
exactly,
just trying
but
to get you to buy the high premium stuff.
yes, and
pay top
like
dollar
yes,
for it.
and they're and I know as a metals dealer, I know the value of.
That's the worst coin to advise someone.
Oh,
to buy.
so bad, and
And
they're
that 69
they're
Eagles are terrible.
correct, and they're hundreds of dollars above
Right.
like what it would even go for.
Signed by Mercanti.
Yeah, just random like stuff. Like, so I just, I find it amusing, but I've never sent coins in for grading just because I agree with you, like the numismatics. Now, like something like this, like a pre-33 coin, that makes sense. And then So I have a horror story for you. The NGC grading company, when 2 or 3 years ago, when the Wolverine error coins were discovered, but there were like the Marvel Wolverine coins minted by Perth. Coin Week or Coin World, whatever, Coin World magazine interviewed me, published the article, and myself and I'd say 2 or 3 of my friends figured out like where to get these error coins. I had bought
How many of them
a
were?
tube.
There was like a lot of them?
There was, so Perth said 400 were minted by mistake until they figured out the error, and only I think 75 to 80 ever like became known and to the public. Like I bought a tube, and my friend called me up and he's like, "Hey, check
What was
out the
error
date."
on it?
So they had a mule error. Essentially, they used the die for a wrong year on the obverse, or sorry, on the reverse. No, on the obverse of the coin. So it was supposed to be a 2021 coin, but they stamped it with a 2019 die. So what happened is this coin that was made 2021, 400 of them were going around with the wrong year. And so Perth Mint, what they had to do then is they had to contact the government. I think it's either Niue or Tuvalu, I forget. But they had to get, I guess, retro authorization for minting, because it's money. You can't just coin money without a government's approval.
What did it make the coin worth? It went up big in value? Or?
So I bought these coins. Again, I bought a tube, and they were shipped to me.
Tube of
It was
what,
like
20?
20. It was like $42 a coin at the time. And then me being a loudmouth, or you could say a generous person, I called one of my friends. I was telling him about it. He's like, "Where'd you buy it?" And I'm like, all right. So I told him.
Oh, man, big mistake.
And then he ended up buying he's like, all right,
rest
he
of them.
placed an order. He got 3 tubes and only 1 came back. He got a tube of errors.
Right.
And I told another 2 of my friends who were partners together, I told them where I got it. They placed a couple orders, and they ended up getting a tube.
Oh, well.
So the 3 of us got a tube of 20. So $42 each. But being that I was the first one to get them in hand, and now I knew that these are my friends, but they're also my competitors, I sold through mine fast and furious. I wanted to dump them before they could sell them. Initially, they started selling them at like 400 and change, and it went all the way up to $800 and change, like raw. So one of my friends, the partners that bought the 1 tube, the one guy sent in a batch to be graded to NGC. He looked at all of the coins and he picked the best ones, sent them in. They came back slabbed and graded. Some of them were MS66s. And it looked like there was like toning, like a strip of toning across like 2 of them or 3 of them. As if like the person, whichever coin grader had them on their desk or something, like put
Left some on top of
tape
it.
or something,
Yeah.
something bizarre.
Oh, wow.
And so these coins, for all intents and purposes, looked like MS70s, because my friend wouldn't have sent in dog crap like that, unless he just wanted to just authenticate that it's like a real error
Just
coin.
send in anything.
But he sent it in because they looked to be high grade, and they came back damaged.
Oh, well.
And so that was with NGC.
So you're
So
going to tell me some crazy story like they took them.
no. But they sent them back damaged. So
Yeah.
he was still able to, I think, move them. But think about somebody's like looking at it like, oh yeah, it's cool to get that error coin, but it's, it looks like crap. I don't know if
Still
I'm
got
going to
any
buy
left
it.
or no?
I have one in an
nice.
MS70.
Really?
I kept one because again,
Still worth anything or no?
I'm sure
Or was
if
it
I were
just
to,
like a craze when they found out?
it was a craze for
okay.
about a year, but there was not many people that knew about it because my channel still is not that big. I have now 35,000. Back then, maybe 10,000 subscribers, which isn't a lot. So,
It's a lot.
the news, it was in Coin World magazine. And I talked about it, and a few other channels talked about it. But, you know, I know some people that go to coin shows and everything, and, like, nobody knew what the hell a Wolverine era coin was. Like,
get out of here.
Yeah, they didn't know. So if I were to sell it now, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'd get 600 for it, 800 maybe. Maybe 800 to 1,000 actually. Nice return when you're spending $42 a coin and you're selling them between 400 to 800. That's a nice return. But that's the first error. The second error that I was involved with, again,
Same
it can't.
company, NGC?
No, this has nothing to do with grading now. But since we're talking about errors, a viewer and subscriber of the channel saw that I brought the story into the public for the Wolverine error, so he contacted me, said, I have a error coin that I think you should look at, and it was another modern error coin. It was a Lady and the Tramp coin. And what had happened, you know the famous scene of Lady and the Tramp where the two dogs are eating spaghetti and like the one noodle? The image was stamped in reverse. So the image was backwards, which means like all the writing, like Disney 2023, TM, was all like reversed.
Nice.
So same thing, limited mintage, 300, 400 were discovered. But again, like only maybe 20, 30 actually came to the public. So this guy, I worked out a deal with this person, like send them to me, I'll sell them, I'll take a percentage, I'll ship them out. And it worked, but not as much interest in those as there were in the Wolverine, because it's Lady and the Tramp. Wolverine's a little cooler but
sure.
So in terms of like slab and grading coins, numismatics, I guess key dates and like error coins, things like that.
Dates, anything in really, really excellent condition.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But other than that, guys, no modern stuff that has like high populations.
Imagine that, sending them in to get graded.
They do. Some people do that. They don't know any better.
They send their whole collection in.
They don't know any better.
Yeah.
Plus the cost. Like, isn't it like anywhere between $25 minimum and up, depending on the coin?
Depending on the coin.
Yeah. So stay away, guys. Anyhow, that's all we've got this week. Check out Bayshore Bullion Exchange, and check out Empire Precious Metals, and we'll see you on the next one.
Have a good weekend.